Hello and welcome back to Unicast Administrators. Today we are going to talk about how you can increase your FPS from 30 FPS to 60 FPS inside a remote desktop session through RDP. And basically what we will do is just to apply one solution from Microsoft, which we can see right here in their official blog post. And we can use this method, and then I have a second method as well to make sure that whenever you want to use your remote desktop session, you'll have 60 FPS instead of the cap of 30 FPS, which is limited by default. And Microsoft acknowledged that. So the first step, or the first method, it's actually the one provided by Microsoft, where they written down an article that provides a solution to the remote desktop protocols in order to change the frame limit in a remote session. So basically what we will need to do is to create a new DWARD inside Regitry Editor or regedit inside this path. And once we create that particular DWARD, we will give it a value, and that will increase our FPS. I will add the link to this procedure in the description of the video as well, but this is where the actual resolution steps are. So in order to do that, I will open up a run, and what I will search for is regedit. And in order to open up this run, you have to press the Windows button and R for Romeo, and you just type in here regedit and you open it. And here we will have to go to their path, and their path starts with HKey local machine. So let me minimize everything here and let me make this bigger. So we have to start in HKey local machine. Then we have to look for system, which is right here. So you expand the system. Then you look for CurrentControlSet. You expand CurrentControlSet. Then we look again for control. You expand this one as well. And you have to look for terminal server. And you can type in the letters TER, and it will throw you directly on the folder that has this naming convention. So here we have terminal server, and from here we have to go in WinStation. Once you are in WinStation, you have to right click it, create new, and from here you select DWARD. You click on that one, make sure that you select DWARD and in brackets 32-bit, and you will have to type in the value or the name that they have already provided to you. So I already created mine, therefore I will delete this first because I already had it, and let me delete this one as well. So from terminal server, WinStation, right click, hover over new, select DWARD 32-bit value, click on it, and now you can rename it, and I will just enter here the name that was provided by Microsoft on their procedure, which is this one from here, from step 4. And after that, right click on it, modify it, change the value to decimal, and make sure that you input the value 15, because according to Microsoft, the 15 decimal value, it will result in 60 frames per second in your remote sessions. So basically this is how you do that. It does require to restart your computer. I'm not going to restart my computer now because I will also show you the second method, but in order to make sure that this applies, you will have to restart your computer. For the second method, I will close that down. Let me also minimize this one. So for the second method, we will use the local group policy tool from our computers. So click on Start Engine and then just search for local group policy, and here we have it. Make sure you open it up. Let me maximize it so we can see this better. Let me do like this on this tab. So from here we have to modify one local policy that theoretically should increase our FPS. So in case the first method doesn't work for you, you can go ahead and try this second method. For me, both of them worked. I did them in parallel, but I will show both of them to you. So from local group policy, we have to go in administrative templates, And from here, we have to go on Windows Components. So let me double click on that. And from here, I have to search for Remote Desktop Services. And there we will go in Remote Desktop Session Host, then Remote Session Environment. And here we have to look for one policy called prioritize H.24/AVC 444 graphics mode for remote desktop connections. What this does is that, let me also open it up. So you do have a description here which details that this is a policy prioritizing blah 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 graphics mode for non-remote FX vGPU scenarios, which also include the remote desktop sessions. So usually this is set on non-configured. Basically non-configured, and it means that it's just blank, nothing, nobody touched it. Disabled means that this is disabled entirely, and enabled, it means that this particular policy is enabled. So make sure that you click on enable, click apply, then OK. Mine was already enabled because I've done it earlier on to test it, and this is how you can also apply the second method. But you will need to reboot your computer to make sure that this applies correctly to your computer, or more precisely to your remote desktop session. Now, this doesn't mean that if you apply these two settings, all of your remote desktop sessions will have 60 FPS. If you do want to have all of your remote desktop sessions in 60 FPS, you have to do either the first method or this second method on the remote or on the destination servers, because I have done this only on my server / my computer, and whenever I want to connect to this computer remotely, I will have 60 FPS inside this computer. But if you want to do it on any other computer, you'll have to replicate these steps for each and every single one. Either way, this has been tested and it works. So if you want to have 60 FPS only inside a particular remote session, you can do that, and the other ones will have the default 30 FPS cap limit. But of course, if you need to deploy this to dozens of computers, hundreds of servers, it's always easy to make it through a group policy that is deployed to the entire domain. But I also wanted to show you something else. Now, I prefer to leave mine not configured, but this use hardware graphics adapters for all remote desktop services. Basically what this policy does is that for users' remote sessions on this particular server or machine, it will allow them to use the graphical card, but based on this description, it's telling you that if it's not configured, it will be used anyway. So if you do not configure this policy, remote desktop services, blah blah blah, server uses Microsoft Basic Render driver, which, if I'm not mistaken, it won't use the entire GPU, but it will connect to some extent to it. So if you want to, you can also enable this. But what this does is that it will allow users to use the full capacity of the GPU through a remote session, but it does not affect the FPS in any way, shape or form. So this is more like a bonus tip. I'm actually going to enable this as well, because why not? But the more important thing to increase your FPS, it's this one, prioritize H26 AVC 444 graphics mode for remote desktop connections. Once you have enabled this, restart your computer and test your remote desktop session, and you will see that you will have 60 FPS. And if you want to also do a test, you can test on different websites online that basically they test each and every single pixel on your monitor through a session as well. So guys, this is it for today's video. I would like to thank you for taking the time to watch my video. If you liked it, please consider leaving a like to the video, and why not also leave a comment and let me know if this has helped you, and let me know what you would like to see next. And as always, thank you for viewing my channel. Thank you for viewing my video. I hope you'll have a good day, and looking forward to seeing you next time. Have a nice day. Cheers.